Brexit is certainly significant, but how significant? Well, 51.9% of the population voted in favour of leaving the EU back in 2016, leaving 48.1% voting Remain. Or to put it another way, 17,410,742 valid votes went for Leave, while 16,141,241 votes went for Remain, leaving a difference in votes of 1,269,501. But when you account for the amount of people who voted minus the people who could have voted but didn't, then you are left with 72.2% of the registered electorate that turned out to vote, meaning that out of a possible 46,470,891, 33,551,983 people turned out, making 12,918,908 people who didn't show up, which is why many people think a second referendum should be held. But then you have to think about the people that did vote to leave. Just exactly how many people is the over 1 million people difference? Well, if 100 to 300 people is about the size of a school assembly, 500 people is about the size of a small theatre. Between 1,500 to 2,500 people and it becomes a large theatre. The Royal Albert Hall holds 5,000 people, and we're not even close to the Brexit figures yet. Liverpool Echo Arena holds 11,000 people. The O2 Arena holds 20,000 people. Old Trafford Cricket Ground holds 50,000 people. Glastonbury Festival holds 203,000 people. In fact, the Summerfest, the biggest festival in the world, only hosts 831,000 people, well below even the difference of people who voted Leave in comparison to Remain. YouGov data is showing that Leave voters are dying at a rate of 1,350 people per day, or almost 500,000 people per year. By March 2019, they expect the Leave majority to be down to 100,000 people if nobody changes their mind, with 350,000 Leave voters and 160,000 pro-EU voters dying each year. 700,000 people in the UK reach voting age each year. A 65% turnout implies there will be 455,000 added votes per year. YouGov's polling suggests that as many as 87% would vote Remain and 13% would vote Leave. So 395,000 Remain voters and 60,000 Leave voters would join the electorate. So if you take 395,000 Remain voters joining the electorate and reaching voting age and subtract 160,000 Remain voters who die, you reach a net effect of gaining 235,000 Remain voters per year. If you take 60,000 Leave voters reaching voting age and subtract 320,000 voters who die, you reach a net effect of 260,000 fewer Leave voters per year. But does that mean that if we had a second referendum with an option to Remain, that Remain would win? Well, to put the EU referendum another way, imagine instead of a referendum being a referendum, the vote was an election with a choice between the Remain party or the Leave party. Now, using the rule that an MP in the UK represents an average of 92,000 people, that means there would be a total of 365 MPs in total if we just divide up EU referendum voters. But it's not going to make much sense if we use a smaller version of Parliament. So instead, let's increase the number of MPs to what we want with the actual number who sit in Parliament, which is 650 MPs in total, and 326 MPs to make a majority. So if we run just the Remainers into that calculation, we arrive at 313 MPs, 13 short of a majority. Leavers would get 337 MPs, giving the Leave MPs a majority of 11, or not too dissimilar from the current makeup of the DUP Conservative coalition. But it's worth remembering The current DUP Conservative coalition does not represent all Leave voters, as there are some Remainers within the Tory government. But the remaining nature of Brexit and the changing argument for a second referendum and parliamentary chaos can be explained, all depending on how you interpret these numbers. But do you agree with me? Join in the debate below and subscribe.